Welcome to Digital Dominators, the podcast that helps small business owners grow their confidence, sharpen their digital skills, and actually enjoy showing up online. I'm Sue Jung, your host, tech coach, and digital cheerleader, and every week I chat with brilliant experts to bring you practical tips, smart strategies, and the tools and tech to make business easier. From social media marketing to websites, content to confidence, AI to automation, we're breaking it down into simple steps you can actually use. If you're ready to make things simpler and more successful in your digital world, you're in the right place. Let's get stuck in. Hi, welcome to today's Digital Dominator session. I'm Suze and I'm here with Emeka Ebeniro, who is the founder of Trillion Digital, where he helps business owners reclaim their time and 3 times their sales using proven AI systems without needing a big team or a tech background. With years of experience in automation and AI-driven sales strategies, Emeka specializes in helping entrepreneurs streamline their processes, scale their businesses, and work smarter, not harder, which is what we all want. So through practical, no-nonsense automation, Emeka has helped countless businesses generate more revenue while cutting down on manual tasks. He believes AI isn't about replacing people, it's about empowering business owners to do what they do best while technology handles the rest. Today, he's here to share exactly how you can increase sales, free up time, grow your business using AI without hiring a tech team or spending hours learning complicated systems. So, wow, I'm really happy that you've joined me today in today's Digital Dominator session. So, I'm going to get started by asking you a big question here. And why is AI such a game changer for small business owners?
Okay, thank you so much, Suze, for having me. I'm happy to be at the Digital Dominators podcast. And in line with your question, why is AI, really important for small businesses? Let's look at it this way. For a lot of small businesses, or a small business owner, you're wearing several hats. So you are the admin on some days, you are the strategist on some days, you are the marketer on other days, you're the finance in the other days. So you realize as a small business owner, you're doing so much, and that could lead to burnout. That could lead to overwhelm. That could even lead to you beginning to doubt yourself if your business is actually profitable, or if you really want to continue the business or possibly do something else. Now, this is where AI comes in. AI comes in as your assistant. So imagine if, as a small business owner, you can afford to pay an assistant, what they are worth. And the assistant helps you take off some of the things that you usually do, which is attend to meetings, write notes, remind you that, oh, you need to send this invoice, or you have this meeting happening at this time. That's what AI can do for you. And excuse me, imagine if you were able to have several assistants. That's already, you have a bigger team. And this could be 1, 2, 3 people. And it's not only for those that have service based businesses. Even if you have a brick and mortar product based business, for example, you coffee shop or you cafe, you sell books, you sell clothes, it doesn't matter. What matters the most is, can you look at your current business and look at the areas where you believe that you will need help, and you truly know you can afford to hire someone or bring in a consultant or a freelancer and all that, but you need help in these areas. Those areas that you've been able to identify, that's where AI will come in. And I don't want us to go deep into talking about chat and DeepSeek and all this, which we would discuss. But the focus is, what I want you to understand is, look at it this way. If I need someone to pick up the phone for me or to respond to messages in case I'm doing something else, or help me and take a look at my DMs and respond to people via the DMs, do I think I'll need help in those areas? If the answer is yes, then you can replace that help with AI. So that is how AI can effectively help small business owners, by looking into their systems and telling them, you know what, this part of the business can be taken over. You can automate sending out emails, or you can automate responding to your DMs, or you can automate responding to SMS, or you could even get an AI to pick up the phone for you and attend to customers on a certain level. And that's just answering things like your frequently asked questions and basic information that your audience or your customers would require. This is not the AI helping you file your taxes or the AI doing all your accounting for you. No, but this is someone or a machine being able to tell your customers that you're open at this time, being able to tell your customers this is the menu you have, being able to tell your customers this is where they can find certain things regarding to your business, or being able to chat with your customers and resolve issues. I think that's one very important thing. And I'll just say this before we go any further. AI has, in a way, democratized technology, meaning that a small business one man team can operate like a big player in the industry. And that's one thing I love about AI. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's why I'm here. You can operate like the big names. They're not sponsoring the podcast, so I'm not going to mention any big name, but you can operate, you can operate like a big name. So you run a successful one-man team or a two-man team. Maybe it's you and your partner, or you and your cousin, or you and a friend. You can have different AIs work with you, and then your customers will feel like you have a team of 10 or 15. Using AI and automation can help you do that, which I'll go into further. But that's the beautiful thing about technology. Everyone can play on the global stage, everyone can play at the mainstream. So it's not back then where you need a lot of money to buy a lot of equipment and all that. No, with little tools, some monthly subscriptions, which will not even cost you much, it will be definitely lower than hiring someone. You can have all these things into your team, and that's the beauty about AI.
You've explained that so well, because that's what I talk about, in the sense of where once you've got your systems in place, and a lot of that is just really breaking down what your systems are, first of all, what are your day to day tasks, step by step, and what you do. And then how can you leverage a tool, right? So a piece of technology, a tool to be able to make that process easier for you, right? And there's also something there around people just thinking that AI is a robot, right? It's how that thing that you speak to, Siri, that Alexa, but what they forget that it's an automation piece as well. So there's the combination between both AI and automation and how they work together, but also with data, because it needs effective data in order to give the right responses. So there's a lot there around the data that you're collecting as a business owner, what tools that you can set up to automate that process of interaction with customers as well. So we can dive into that a little bit throughout this kind of hour that we've got together as well. But before we go any further, I just want you to explain a little bit more about how you got into doing what you're doing now. So what brought you to helping business owners with their AI and their systems and their processes?
Awesome question. My journey has been quite an interesting one, because if I look back, I'm like, okay, you finally ended up here. So, a few years ago, I started off back then in school, in the university. I studied engineering, systems engineering, but it wasn't what I wanted to study at first. So, I back then, from my background, if you're good when it comes to technology, sciences, and all that, they always encourage you to go into engineering. And which you're like, okay, fine, you have a good result, you're good in this, you have a flair for it. Why don't you go into engineering? But I didn't want to do systems, so my first choice was chemical engineering, but I couldn't get that, so I opted in for systems engineering. And along the way, I didn't like it because I felt like it wasn't what I wanted to do, but I graduated. But along the line, I started to realize that I had the passion for people, communications, marketing, management, more of the people side of things as opposed to the technical side of things. So I went in, did marketing, studied market. After leaving engineering, I worked in agencies, marketing comms, started consulting and all that. And then I got to the point, I now started to see the gaps. Why? In digital marketing and in marketing, you realize that you can't make effective decisions without data. So data is big when it comes to digital marketing or marketing in general, because how do you know a campaign or a project was effective? How do you know if you met the milestones, if your KPIs are correct? How do you know all these things? You need to measure. And if you are a student of project management, you know the project management life cycle. You get to the point where you monitor and you measure and then you finally close. So you need to monitor, you need to measure. But what are you monitoring and what are you measuring? That's data. So now understanding that, it now led to the point where I now started seeing that, okay, these methods or these frameworks we're using is not effective. There should be a better way. So I give you a simple example. You're running a digital marketing campaign, you're running Facebook ads, or you're marketing, or you're doing comms on one platform, and then you want your customers or your leads to perform something on another platform, and then you want to communicate with them on another platform. So it was a whole lot of work. I felt very overwhelmed because I'm jumping from platform one to two to three, one software, one tool. I just couldn't meet up. You can't do things effectively because you spend more time finishing one, then you go to the next one. So I like, oh, is there no better way of doing this? And am I the only one that is suffering the same headache? So that led me into researching, and that's when I now finally go, okay, there are tools, there are automation tools, there are in-app automations, and there are tools that bridge or connect multiple apps and tools together. I'm like, okay, let me go understand this better. And that's when I discovered automation, being able to automate using things like Zapier, being able to automate DMs using tools like ManyChat, and even automating within platforms like email automation. Maybe if you're using ActiveCampaign or SendFox or any of these platforms, if you are in that field, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. But it now opened my eyes to like, okay, there is a better way. I can do this task once and then it's done. It covers up the work for the next 3, 4 weeks, even 6 weeks. So, for example, as a business owner, you can direct traffic to your lead magnet or something you want people to engage with, and that gives them like a taster into what you're good at. Let's make it really practical because that's how I love to do things. So let's make it really practical. So, for example, you have a donut shop, a baking shop, or a cafe, and you want to get people, local people, come in there, know you, like you, trust you, and then begin to, patronize you. One of such ways you can do it, beyond telling people to buy one and get one free, you can tell people that you're giving a limited menu or a limited recipe on how you make one of your favorite donuts or pastries. And then if they would like to get that so that they can learn, see the way you do it and why your store is the best when it comes to such taste and pastries, is by downloading your free menu guide, of by downloading your recipe, and then you can walk them on step by step on how they can make that menu. Now, once you do that, you realize that they need to go somewhere to access that information. Now, one good way is for them to get it on your website. Now, once they click on your website, something else has to happen. One of such things is they have to get access to what you have promised them. That will take them to another platform. And then after they have gotten access to that, another way for you to increase the engagement and over time increase the lifetime value of your customer is by nurturing them. Now, if you're going to nurture them, the question is, where do you nurture them? How do you nurture them? One way is by taking them from your landing page or your website to a platform maybe built on your website or on a third party platform that will give them access to that guide. And then over time, would now send them emails or SMS, telling them about your offers to come in and all that. Now, from experience and also backed up by research, I recently posted this. It's called the 7-11-4. Seven
Okay.
times Google did a research. It's called the 7-11-4. So customers need to get in contact with you 7 times across 11 touch points on 4 locations. So what does that mean? It means that if they click on your website, that's one location. They see your email, that's one another touch point. They on the email you have links to all your other social media platforms. They now see you across different touch points, and that will now multiply to 4, which is 4 locations. So website 1, email 2, social media 3 and 4. So that means from one touch point or from one location, they now know that you are available in 4 locations. And let's be specific: Instagram, TikTok. If you're a small business, that's my recommendation. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and then your email marketing. We keep it that way. Now, 11 touch points. So it means that you will get in contact with them 11 times. So what does that mean? Oh, possibly 10 emails, 5 emails, several Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok posts. By the time they've done that, guess what happens? It's easy for them to become a customer because from each touch point, they know more about your business, your culture, your brand, why you do the things you do. And before you know it, they now feel like, they're part of the family. Like they feel like, oh yeah, we know Susie's pastries or Susie's cafe for the case of this one. And we know about it. We know what she does every Tuesday, and we know disco, and we know that they begin to become a part of the family. And when you say, hey, hi guys, it's Wednesday. Remember, once you come in here, you're gonna get 20% off this ABC thing. Guess what? They know about it. And what happens? They begin to go to your store. And that is how it happens. So, as a business owner, in line with automation, everything that I've said, in for you to connect them together, that's where automation comes in. So, your question would be, Emeka, can you explain further? Fine. You need to get a platform where people can visit to get that free guide. And then you need to sit down once or get someone to sit down and then map out how many emails you intend to send, what the content of each email, and when each email will be sent. That is automation. Once you do that once, you don't have to do it again. So the business owner doesn't need to wake up every Wednesday morning to send out an email. The business owner can automate the emails that's being sent out every week or throughout that campaign one time, and then schedule it, and then it's sent. The same thing, automating your social media management could be you creating content on one of your busiest or not so busiest days, and then scheduling it, which is part of automating it, so that it goes out at different times. So that once you and your team are focused on actually doing the work, you are not spending your time when you're supposed to be doing the work, creating content or scheduling. So you can do that. Another way, one more example, another way is, and I've seen this a whole lot. A lot of small businesses don't check their DMs or their messages. So they're on several platforms, but they don't have the time to check those platforms because the business owner is actually doing the work, is actually working. So you don't have time to go to TikTok and Instagram to start checking all your DMs and Facebook. But guess what? Your DMs can be automated, whereby when someone sends in a question or an inquiry, the DM can be automated to certain level, and then you can now respond. Now, if you want to supercharge that, which we'll talk about later, you can use AI to respond to your DMs and also use AI to respond to some of the touch points that I've mentioned. So that for me is why I realized that, what, automation is important. I don't want to spend all my time jumping from one platform, I can dedicate 1 day or 1 hour in the week and then do the work for the next 1 month in that 1 hour, automate it, and then go and focus on something else. So that for me was why I decided to go into automation. And then when AI came into the picture, like, okay, now there's even an easier way or a faster way to automate. Let me get AI to help me in my automation process. So yeah, that's it.
Wow. It's so I love hearing people's journey into what brought them to where they are right now, because it's never what they set out to be, but it's through that journey and that process that gets them to the decision of where they are now. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that and for going into the detail of what a funnel is as well. So a lot of small business owners don't really understand what that means. They think it's something that they would pour water into to get it from one place to another. However, for your business, it's your marketing funnel. And you've explained it really clearly there when it comes to using AI and automation tools as part of that. And it really is thinking about who your customers are, marketing online, selling offline by nurturing them through your email sequence, going through those touch points. And you're making me think about wanting to open up a donut shop as well at the same time, Emeka, too. So I'll maybe park that one, but let's go and talk a little bit more about that kind of customer and those touch points, if you're happy to talk about this a little bit more, because people get overwhelmed by social media and social media marketing. Now, I like to think of them as two separate things, right? Their social media is a tool. There's a free tool for you as a business owner to be able to market, which is then tell your customers, your ideal customers, who and what you are, why you do what you do, and who it is that you help and the problems that you solve for them. So when we think about those customers are our cold audience, right? They don't really know we are. We've got to try and share with them more about who we are, what we do, how we do it, all of those kind of five W's, those five why
Yeah.
questions. But we also have no control over social media, right? We've got no control. Yes, we can schedule the posts, which is also, again, what I recommend to
Yeah.
do. So we're both singing from the same
Yeah.
sheet there. But we still have no control. We can schedule it out to go at 11 o'clock on a Monday. However, our audience might not see it at that time, because these tools' goal is to try and keep people on the
Mm-hmm.
platform. So they're going to put your content in a place which they think is the best time for their audience to see it, depending on their own
Mm-hmm.
behaviors. And that's where marketing comes in, the social media marketing, which is then you're paying for the advertising, these digital marketing strategies, to then make sure that your content is going to the right people in that way. And that's where then you take them from these platforms, take them offline to your email list, and you nurture them through that email sequence that you talked about, that automation sequence, to then make them feel like they're part of your community, as you said, they're part of your audience, part of the family in that way as well. So this can be quite overwhelming for small business owners, right? Because they go, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what tools to use. I don't know how to even start that process. So let's break it down a
I
little
love
bit
that.
more,
I love
okay? So
that.
I'm going to get you to break it down so that anybody that's listening that is going, right, that's exactly what I need. I need to have a process that means that I am not constantly um, having to follow up with every person that's coming in, or I'm sending multiple emails and I can't find that email. Let's simplify the process for them, because as you mentioned, we're going to reclaim their time and 3 times their sales. So let's go through that step by step. So imagine that you've got a brand new customer coming on board. What would you do to start that journey with them?
Fantastic. Great question, Suze. And it's always interesting to have such conversations with a fellow marketer. So it's kind of like you both understand each other. Like it's really exciting.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. And then we get to talk about it in a way that actually, this is why I don't want to
Yeah, yeah.
overcomplicate it, because it's already complicated for people, as you know, because we are in
Place,
that
yeah.
space. We understand it. We want to help people to understand it. So let's break it down to the basics, because I know it's the biggest fear that, and I'm sure you've heard this
Oh,
yourself, right? I'm not techie. They say, I'm not techie, but they carry a phone about with them, which is a mini
I do
computer, and they do everything. They can't live without this
exactly.
phone, but they're not techie. So it's changing the mindset around it all and how this all connects together. So let's break it down, super simple steps right from the beginning. Imagine there's a customer coming to you going, I need it to work simpler for me. I want to reclaim my time. How can you help me do that? What do we do first?
Fantastic. Before I go into answering the question, I want to paint a picture which I'm sure a lot of us can relate to it, so that it kind of helps you appreciate what the possibilities are. So let's break it down. I'm sure everyone listening here must, I don't want, like I would say, they're not sponsoring, so I'm not going to mention any name. So, but everyone here, and especially you have visited or you have purchased an item for one of the fast foods in or around the UK. Maybe it's on, I don't know if you're listening in Glasgow, anywhere in the world you've gone. Now you realize there are several ways to do that. Some you wait in line, you speak to the front counter, they tell you if it's ready, they serve you. If not, they place the order, they go back to the kitchen, they prepare it, they bring it out, they call your number and they hand it over to you. Some you press the screen, you place your order on the screen, you either pay on the screen or you pay at the counter, and that process continues. That process in itself is a sales funnel, or is a funnel for that business. But this time around, it's not majorly a sales funnel, but it's an operations funnel. So what does that mean? It means that each time a customer comes in to the shop, to the business, the customer would perform certain tasks, and then the organization would do certain things to now give the customer the desired outcome or output. That is the same thing that happens with your business as a sales funnel. So let's break it down. The customer comes in and they place their order on the screen. For you as a business, your customer gets in touch with you either on your website, Facebook, whichever platform you have, and they have a desire for you to help them fulfill. Now, the desire could be, I want to lose belly fat. The desire could be, I want to improve my relationship. Possibly, I want to get hooked or something. The desire could be, I want to improve my technology stack. The desire could be, I want to make more sales. The desire could be, there is a desire the customer has, and that's why the customer has come to you or come into your own ecosystem. The same thing for the techies, they have their ecosystem. So once the customer does that, what's the first thing the customer will do? The customer usually will place an order. That means they will put in what they want. In your case, it is the customer dropping in their details for them to get something in return. So,
That exchange, isn't
yes, for
it?
that exchange. So that's why I mentioned
Hmm.
earlier. It could be a free guide, it could be a free book, it could be a low paid item that would give them their desired outcome. So even if I am a plumber, what I want to do is I want when someone comes, finds me on Google, Facebook, Instagram, I want to give first before I receive. So I can give the customer before they've even done business with me something first, like, okay, here are ways that you can, 5 ways not to clog your toilet or clog your pipes, something like that, so that they can, oh, this is really valuable, thank you so much for this. I actually need a plumber. Now you've given me this, not only will I get in contact with you for you to help me, but with this guide you've given me, I'll try not to clog my bathroom. And if I find myself doing that, I can follow your guide and unclog it. So that is one way to do that. Now, they have come in, they would need a platform for them to put in their details to get this 5 ways, this guide or this checklist. Now, That place or that platform is something you need to provide. Now, in the sales and marketing world, the entire journey is the sales funnel, not just the platform. It just happens that people tie sales funnels to softwares and tools. No, a sales funnel or an operations funnel is the entire customer journey from the point where they get in contact with you to the very point of conversion where they spend money and they keep spending money with you, which is now turns to the customer lifetime value. Now, that is the entire journey of your sales funnel. So back to the platform, they need a place where they can drop in their details. Once they drop in their details, the expectation, just like if I place an order for my food, is that after a certain time, my food is delivered. So their expectation is if they place their details, that they get the guide you've promised them. Now, you need to set up a system that would ensure that it can collect the data and in return give them the guide. That system is something you need. So that system that collects data, give them the guide, and then preferably what I recommend over time, still keep in contact with them through emails and possibly SMS is something you need. And the question is, Emeka, why do I need that? My answer would be, you know that getting a customer most times is not instant, but you can build a relationship with a customer. And when they're ready to buy from you, they would remember you. You become top of mind. Now, one thing that I say and I learned and I'll share here is customers buy when they are ready. Customers, clients buy or do business with you when they are ready. So it's your job to be top of mind so that once it's time for them to make that purchase, to do that, start that project, it's a no-brainer. Like, okay, yeah, I already know you. You gave me something valuable. You've been in contact with me. You've been helping me. You've been sharing valuable tips. You are my number one choice. And then they buy from you. And what we say in the marketing sales world is when your marketing is done right, which includes sending these emails and SMS to them to keep you top of mind, sales becomes easier, or you really do not need a lot of sales. When the marketing is done right, sales becomes easier. But when the marketing is not done right, which is what we see, like what Sue's rightly mentioned, is we have a lot of cold leads. Someone meets you for the first time. Let me give this example. You meet a guy in the train and he says, I like your hair or something. And the next thing he wants to get your number, like, okay, let's go out. Like, go out where? I just met you 5 minutes ago. That is the same thing that happens when you try to sell or you tell them to buy something when you haven't built any rapport. And that's one of the challenges businesses face. So you need to put in your system ways of building rapport, which is, let me give you first. I give a compliment. I'm not a relationship coach, but from the little I know, I give a compliment. I am nice to you. I keep in contact with you, and eventually we can go out for drinks. I think that's how it happens. I might be wrong, but I think that's how it happens. So it's the same thing for your customers. Give them something valuable, keep in contact with them, and when they are ready to buy, they remember you. So, as a small business owner, my framework would be have a system, a tool, a platform that would help you collect people's data, preferably on that same platform, would help you nurture them by sending them emails and SMS, and then help you build your contact list still on that one platform. That's it. Now, if you can't use one platform, this is where automation comes in. You need to use a third party tool like Zapier or Make.com or any of those other platforms that would connect two platforms together and help you. Once one action is done on one platform, through this connector, which is the automation tool, would send signal data to the second platform and tell the platform, oh, I need you to do this right now. So, for example, if you've ever ran ads on Facebook, or any agency or anyone tells you, oh, run ads on Facebook, it's good. Yes, it's good. It's one of the most affordable ways for you to grow your business. I can tell you for a fact, because that's what I do. And it's one of the best. It has the best targeting, has the best everything, and it's really affordable. However, because
Because
people
they've got the
don't
data.
know,
They've got the
yeah,
data.
they have the data for everyone. So because people don't know that running Facebook ads is one step, it's not the entire step. You need to take the people that you have gotten from Facebook somewhere else. So where are you taking them to? So if you're taking them to email platform, not all email platforms integrate natively, that's integrate automatically with Facebook. Some will need a third party platform that would integrate to Facebook and automatically move the data from Facebook into your email platform. And that's what we talked about. If not, what you have to do as a business owner is they will set up the ads for you, and then they now have to send you a CSV file. Then you now have to take the CSV file and then upload it to your email platform and all, and you now put all the tags and segments.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of work. But with automation, you can Facebook to your automation tool, from your automation tool to your email marketing platform, and that's done instantly without you doing it. So that is my flow of what a funnel truly is and why you need it as a business. Because even as a charity, because I have consulted with charities and I tell them two things, even if you can't do everything, two things a charity must do and must have. One, an updated website that is properly optimized, SEO, tags, everything, keywords. An updated website is a website, updated website is properly optimized, and an email list sending out regular newsletters. Why? A time comes where the charity will need to be voted for, or would need to get a lot of buying, or need to get people to support them, come out, things like that. Where do you get people from? Where do you get volunteers from? How do you do that? And that's one of the key areas I see a lot of small business and charities, that's where they miss it. So each time they have a project, they've gotten funding, it's like they start all over again and they start all over again. You need to leverage on your past experiences, your past events, your network of people that know you, like you, and trust you. So those are the areas I tell them, you know what, you need a website. You might not be so techy, but get somebody, set up your tech stack, update your website for you, and then set up your email marketing platform for you, and possibly either teach you or you pay someone every month to ensure that your emails are properly, your newsletters are sent out, your website is updated, and everything. Why? That would help you focus on getting funding and executing the project. And when the funders come and they check, they can say, oh, yes, this is why we are supporting you. Your website is always up to date. We see that you have a thriving community of, if it's women, you see, we have a thriving community of 500, 1,000, 2,000 women in your newsletters, and they all say, yes, we see the amazing work you're doing. So it becomes a no brainer for you when you have any event or you want to do something. You can easily grow that and get to the next level. Same thing for a small business, because ad costs, which is spending on these ad platforms, usually go up, because we all know the cost of living crisis will go up, and they will go. But guess what? Once you have a good email list and they're engaged, it will reduce your ad cost and also build trust with your existing audience. So that is my flow.
There's a real mindset shift that I think we try so hard to encourage small business owners to have, is that it's not about constantly getting new people in the door. It's about following up with the people that are already there, that have already been with you on that journey. And that's through the email list. Because as I've mentioned before, we have no control over the social media
Yeah.
platforms. With what is happening with social media and the platforms itself, if they suddenly disappear, Like Facebook suddenly disappears. Instagram suddenly stops one day. TikTok, we've seen that TikTok was going to be banned in some countries, and the impact that that would have on business owners and individuals that were using the platform to
Yeah.
monetize. What if YouTube went down and videos, people no longer used YouTube or another tool came out? This is where the importance of having an email list
Yeah.
still exists. So even though people are saying, oh no, I don't read emails, right? So I hear this a lot, and I'm sure you do as well. Business owners that come to my trainings, they go, well, I hate getting those emails. I don't open those emails. And I go, you're not thinking like a
Yeah.
marketer. You need to put your marketing hat on. You need to think about the people that do like to receive your emails, the people that do like to be able to hear from you, what you're doing, lurking in the background, right? Everybody's a lurker on their
Hmm.
phone as I'm pretending to scroll through my phone. Everybody is watching, they're seeing what's
Yeah.
happening. They're going to read the
Yeah.
emails that you send, but they might not take action until they're ready, which is what you mentioned as well, right? So there's such importance of making sure that we are bringing people into our world, taking them offline into our email sequence and nurturing them in that space by giving them information about you, your business, solving their problems, and then the offers that you have to encourage them that are specifically for that audience as well, not for the wider market in the sense of people that don't know you, but the people that are there and that have been with you for a long time. And even before we had our call today, I mentioned that the training that I did on Monday was somebody that came into my world 7 years ago. 7 years ago, right? So it's this journey that people have with you throughout your business and your business journey that they're ready to come to you when they've got the time and the capacity in that way too. Okay, that was such a great explanation that you gave as well, Emeka, for
Thank
how a
you.
person comes through and how you set that process up. Let's talk a little bit more about the AI and how that works with the automation, because you also mentioned how since the AI has become everywhere, that you've implementing more AI into your automation tasks. Can you talk a little bit more about that um, as well?
Okay. Talking about AI, it's one thing I'm really, really excited about because it's like growing up seeing all the sci-fi movies and you're like, okay, yeah, we're finally there. We're in the year where we can actually have conversations with robots and we can actually use these tools, these really advanced tools, help us get more done. So one of the things that I've been able to do for small businesses and also businesses of different scale is build their own small AI workflows and agents and integrate that, which we call like AI infrastructure, and integrate that into their business. And I'll just give a breakdown of what that truly means. So you run your business, like we rightly mentioned, and you're focused on getting results. And this is not because you run a brick and mortar store. It could be that you're a recruiter, you're a consultant, you coach, whatever it is. Now, you would agree with me that a lot of times you get phone calls which you would have avoided. You get a lot of inquiries which someone else would have handled. And you're wondering, you know what, I don't want to keep wasting my time and reading emails and realizing that I shouldn't have done that. I've taken my time out to do that. Now, this is where AI comes in, and this is where building AI infrastructure for businesses. One of such is having your own a chat on your website, or possibly a chat on your website that's also connected to all your social media, would help you reduce the amount of time that you respond to people. So the chat will be trained on your data, your voice, your brand, and be streamlined or constrained to only give certain information within your knowledge base. And this knowledge base, aka the brain, would only give information that you stored in the chatbot's brain or knowledge base as we know it in the space. And then the chatbot would help you resolve that. Now, I give a typical example. I've had a challenge with an airline where I couldn't travel because they said, "Oh, I didn't do this, I didn't," and I needed to make some changes and all. And after complaining, they sent me to their chatbot. And To be honest, that chatbot isn't good. Why? Because it's not really trained to solve problems. It's just, in my opinion, a way to avoid customer complaints. In my opinion, that's why they put it there. But you can build a chatbot that is specific to helping people within your industry. So, in your case as a business owner, you can use your chatbots to filter people that want to do business with you. So, if that person doesn't fit your ideal customer profile, based on the question the chatbot asks the person, the chatbot can now determine, no, oh, this lead or this inquiry isn't worth our time. I don't need to schedule a meeting. I don't need to take the conversation any further. I can just end the conversation or tell the customer, if you want to do A, B, C, D, then I can send you the link, or we can move forward. If not, you have all the information you need and it ends there. That is one infrastructure you could do. The second one you could do is which is, I'm really excited about this, is having your own call agent. And I don't know if my phone is here. I would have called Zoe. Zoe is one that I set up for myself and for the business, whereby when you call Zoe, Zoe will ask you questions around, do you want to learn how AI voice agents can help your business? And then you can, like, okay, Zoe, I'm interested. And Zoe will ask you a few questions to qualify you, to understand what you're trying to build, what business you have. And then she would tailor your response to her knowledge base of what she knows how AI voice agent can help your business. And then ask you a question like, okay, how do you think this would impact your business? This is how we train Zoe. How do you think this will impact your business? So your response will now determine what the next thing she would say. Oh, I think this is great. She would now say things like, okay, do you want to explore ways on how this can help your business? And you say, oh, yeah, sure. Should I set up a meeting, with you with one of our specialists? And you say, oh, yes, why not? And then she gets your details, you get an SMS, and then the second agent, which I call him Tim will now chat with you via SMS and will check the calendar to find out what date and time is available. And then you can now tell Tim, okay, this date and time works for me. And once you confirm that, Tim will send you a confirmation SMS for your meeting, and then you get a reminder. Now, you see that in building this infrastructure, the business doesn't need to hire someone to check the calendar and book a meeting. The business doesn't need to hire someone to qualify people for their services or their offers. That has been taken, has handled that, it has taken care of it. So the business can focus on what they do best. We've seen this work for consultants, people that have clients. Maybe you are managing your client's portfolio or something, and your client keeps calling you to ask you for certain details which they've forgotten based on the database for that client or that business. The agent can tell the client exactly what they need. We've seen this work for brick and mortar businesses. You own a salon, you even do real estate, and you need certain information, or you want to find out if this real estate agency or this business can help you. We've seen it for people that have letting agencies where they connect landlords to tenants, and a tenant wants to know if this property is available or things like that. So we've seen that would help. So the business doesn't have to hire someone to sit down on the all day to pick up phones 24, which most of us don't work 24. But this agents can work 24. And even if, for example, I am in somewhere else in the world and I want to make a call to that business and forgotten the time zone, but I just need to make this call. I found you online. I want to make an inquiry to confirm that, oh, I can actually use your Airbnb. I'm booking my flight. I'm going to land in the UK, let's say at 2 a.m. or 6 a.m. I don't want to wait, but I can call you at 10 p.m. your time, and maybe possibly it's 5 p.m. my time or 4 p.m. my time, which I believe is not close of work where I am. And I can quickly call your Airbnb, close the booking, make payment, land, get a taxi that takes me straight to the place without waiting till 9 or 10 a.m. before I can speak to someone. That is the advantage of you having an AI work with your business. So the AI does it, has a conversation with the person, confirms the booking, sends the booking link, the person clicks on it, makes the payments, gets the confirmation and all that, and then the data is stored in the company's CRM database. They wake up in the morning, like, oh, okay, we've closed the sale. Somebody has booked for the Airbnb for 7 days and it's coming on this time and all that. I'm like, okay, that was good. We didn't have to do anything. That is the beauty of integrating AI. Now,
Yeah.
remember that we talked about AI is not replacing jobs. It's complementing the organization to have someone work while they are asleep. And then the team wakes up in the morning and they take over from that place. So once the person is paid, the team can now reach out to the person and
Hmm.
say, Emeka, thank you so much for this. We see that you've paid for this. We look forward to, just to continue the conversation. And now the person can speak to a human and everything is fine. So they
Yeah.
don't have to miss opportunities because they're off work. They don't have to waste time in trying to qualify people that are not their ideal customers. And the list goes on. It just streamlines that process and helps them reclaim their time and they can focus on, like I said, operating globally 24/7 while they're spending time with their kids, their dogs, their family, on the vacation and all that,
Yeah.
and they can reclaim their time without losing out, quote and unquote, losing out on such opportunities. So that's the beauty about AI and having your own AI infrastructure integrated into your business, whether you're a big business or a small business or you're an enterprise business. AI can come in and help you with that.
Yeah, I think you've explained that really well there, Emeka, because I love the fact it works for every single business, whether you are a large or a small or an individual. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what sector as well, because the automation process that people carry with this mini computer, this phone that they have in
Yeah.
their hand, they can simply do it in a few clicks, in a few steps. And then I love the fact that you dropped in about having that personal touch when you are active and you are online. And I think that's where we can, as business owners, is really help have the tools set up in a place, but also still remember to connect with your people. And that could be through the nurturing sequence that you have. That could be sometimes just picking up a call to confirm, hey, I just want to confirm that that's Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Great, I'll see you then. Because that really builds that trust, that like trust with the audience there as well. Amazing. I can't believe we're almost an hour into this already. So I'm just going to ask you to give 3 tips to share for anyone that's looking to set up AI automation systems data within their business. What 3 tips can you share with them? Um, yeah, before we
Awesome.
finish up today.
I have a Thrive framework, but I'm not going to go into detail of using the Thrive framework. But what I would say is the first is use usually what we call like a gap analysis, which is look at your current state, look at where the gap is, and look at your future state. So, what's your current state of your business? Try to analyze your current business operation. And for a lot of small businesses, they don't know their current business operation. But just take a step back and say, okay, what do I do on a day to day? Wake up at this time, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, and try to monitor that for at least 3 to 1 week, 3 days to 1 week. And then you can now look at, okay, this is what I actually do on a day to day. Now, once you've done that, the second step is now, okay, can I use automation for some of these things? So maybe I spend 2 to 3 hours sending out emails, or I spend 2 to 3 hours creating proposals from scratch. Can I use automation AI to reduce that 3 hours to 1 hour, or you reduce that 3 hours to 30 minutes? That is step two. Then step three will now be to understand what tools you can use to help you achieve this. So step one is look at your current state, then have your future state in mind. Okay, if I spend 10 hours every week on repetitive tasks, I want to be able to save 10 hours every week. That's my future state so that I can do A, B, C, D. Maybe I can get more business. I can spend more time with my family, I can do other things. So that's my future state. My current state is this is all I do from auditing my life and my business. Then the second thing is okay, these areas are the areas that I believe I can reduce the time. Like, okay, I spend so much time here. That's second step. The third step will now be what tools can I use? So, for example, using a tool like Gamma, which is used to create presentations, can save you a lot of time creating presentations. Gamma is an AI tool that can convert your written presentation text into well-designed pitch decks and presentations, which you can use, download, and use as PowerPoint, or you can send the link to someone and the person can open it as a PDF and see what you have. So Gamma can help you reduce that time that you spend going through either PowerPoint or Google Slides and picking out designs and images and all that. That's one tool that you can use to reclaim your time. Another could be our very trusted friends, ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, our very trusted friend, and my new friend too, who is now ChatGPT's buddy. So you know that that's my very good friends. So you could use ChatGPT and DeepSeek to help you reclaim your time. So you can use them to bounce off ideas, to help you clean up what you're doing. And you see that the ability to use such AI tools would help you reduce the time that you want to create them. One more I'll give you is if you are the type that you do not like to be in front of the camera, you want to create content, but you don't want to be in front of the camera. There are different AI tools that can help you create content, and that would help you reclaim back your time. One of such tools is Creatify. So Creatify, so create then TIFY, Creatify is one AI tool that can help you create user generated content. So you have human like people talking about your product or service. And all you need to do is either put a link to the product you want them to talk about, or you can put a description of it on the tool. Now you see that you have saved our time. So people tell you, oh, you need to create content on social media. Yes, you do. But now you don't need to create content yourself. You can use AI tools to create the content. So those are my three tips. Number one, understand your current state. Two, look at where your desired state, and three, look at the tools you use, and then research those tools and then implement those tools. These three things or this framework would help you really skyrocket your business. And as a bonus, just to add to these tips that I've shared with you, as a bonus, please, if you are not sure of how to start, what to do, please get an expert. You don't need to hire the person full time. You can get the person for a day, pay a day rate, pay a week rate, pay a month rate. Get the person to help you set up your tech stack and then guide you on how to
Yeah.
go about it, because it's going to save you a lot of time and money. For myself,
Yeah.
Suze, we've spent so many years and thousands of pounds trying different tools. So we can tell you, based on your journey, don't use this tool, use this tool. Or based on lifetime value, it might look cheap right now or look affordable, but over time
Mhm.
you realize that you're spending. So, and you see a lot of businesses, they subscribe to new tools and they really don't use it, or they really don't need it now. So you need
Yeah.
someone to come in, audit your current tech stack, guide you on how set things up for you, and then train you on how to use those tools. And you get running. And if you feel is way above your head, because you already have the tools, it becomes, should I call it, cheaper or inexpensive for someone to just come in there, get things done, and move out. Why? You already pay for the tools, you have
Yeah,
everything, you have your strategy. So you just need somebody to come in there and set one or two things up for you. And you see that you save yourself a whole lot of money because you have the right tech stack, you have the right strategy, and
that's
you know,
right.
everything is aligned with your bigger vision. So yeah, so those are my tips.
Yeah, it's so right. I just to follow up from that as well, it is always the biggest setup and cost at the start, but the importance of hiring someone to help you with that is that they don't come with a one knowledge of one tool that somebody shared that information like past, oh, use this. They come with a full holistic approach, and they look at your business, they look at the tools, and they work out the best process that's going to work for you, your business, your systems, your processes, how you work, how your customers like to behave, and make that journey easier for them. So, with that in mind, how people can connect with you, Emeka, is through your website, which is trelliondigital.com. And for those that are in the show notes, you can download the checklist, which is a profitable Facebook ads checklist, which I'll share the link for in the show notes as well. But yeah, it's been such a pleasure to speak to you today. And I know that we can talk for hours on this topic as well, that we can go into so much more detail as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing more about what you're putting out, and hopefully we'll connect again and we'll bring you back on for more chat as the AI and the automation
Yes,
evolves as
yes, yes. I
well.
definitely look forward to coming back to sharing more about AI, automation, and technology. And of course, thank you, Suze, for the opportunity to share with the amazing people out there. So, guys, don't just listen, make sure you take action and use this information to transform your business.
I love it. Take action, use it to transform your business. The best final words there. Okay, thank you. Take care. It was good to speak to you. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, cheers. Bye.
That's it for this episode of Digital Dominators. If your brain's buzzing and you're ready to keep that digital energy going, come join us at technologycoaching.online. It's the community for small business owners who want to get visible, take action, and grow with the right support around them. Head to technologycoaching.online. I'd love to see you there. And until next time, keep showing up, tackling your tech, and dominating your digital world.